Hello to all my family, friends, and fans. This is just the beginning of my journey as a newcoming and an awesome upcoming author. Annie Herrington. This is the street that I grew up on, all the way from a little girl, all the way up to my high school year. This is Lauderdale Manors. Man, I enjoy it. I remember when I used to take this street to walk to my elementary school, which we're gonna visit that elementary school in just a minute. But before we do that, I want to show you just how far God have brought me from. I want to show you the house that I grew up in and where I experienced a major, a tough childhood life at. But I'm so glad that God, he brought me out of that. This is the house that I grew up in. Again, all the way from 5 years old, all the way up to my high school years. As I mentioned earlier, I experienced some tough things in my childhood life in this same house. I don't know if many of y'all get the book Damaged But Not Broken. It's kind of telling my story a little bit. I was adopted at the age of 5 from someone that owned this home, and I experienced some major things concerning my life in this very home. There was a lot of mental, physical, and emotionally abuse done to me right here in this house. As we just take a stroll through the yard, growing up, there was a big tree right here. There was a big tree right here. Right now it's dug up, it's removed, and this tree that was here, that's why I knew that God, he had something awesome for me in my future. When I was growing up as a little girl and experiencing all of the things that I experienced in my childhood life, I would come here at this very tree that was here, and I would sit under the tree and I would cry. Didn't even know where I was headed in my life, but I would pray and I would talk to God under this very tree. There were times when I would experience getting whooped, slapped upside the head, called names for absolutely no reason. But I would always find my way at this tree that was here, which was a peace. It was a peace for me. It was a piece of peace for me. And throughout the night or throughout the day when I would find my way out here, right over here in the corner, there was a grapefruit tree, an orange tree. Oranges is my favorite fruit. And I would always feel like every time I ate a orange, that God, he will cleanse everything that had happened to me in that particular day. Right over there was a grapefruit tree. That was the tree that I will go and get some of my favorite books, and I would read some of my favorite books, some of my authors, my favorite authors, like Joyce Myers. I grew up on her books. I've always made my business to read her books because they were so inspirational. We're here now at the school that I grew up at, Lauderdale Manors Elementary. I attended here my pre-K all the way through 5th grade. This was, to be honest with you, the best school in Broward County. I don't know about now, but it was the best school back when I was just in kindergarten. I had a great time in these hallways. This classroom here was where Miss Phi Bell, my kindergarten teacher, this is actually the classroom where I sat at. Man, I remember sitting down at one of these desks. Man, I remember this old school here. Y'all don't know nothing about this. This old school right here. It's old school. I used to put all my little personal belongings in here. And I remember Miss Bell, my kindergarten teacher, she used to always get on me because my desk was so junky. I think that's why I'm a really neat freak right now today, because it started from when I was just a kid to learn how to be a neat person. I remember right outside of these doors here is where we would come out, and this was a playground back when we was here. Back when I was here, this was a playground. We would come out here every day after lunch, and we would have playtime, and that was my favorite time of the school day, playtime. I look forward towards that every day. We would come out here and we would play, and then we would go back in and we would have nap time. That was one of my favorite times as well. We're entering in William Dandy Middle School. Now, I'm gonna just be straight up and firm with y'all. This is where it went down at. This is when I discovered how to smoke weed. This is how I discovered how to skip. This is how I discovered how to curse. This is how I discovered how to pick up a lot of bad habits. And it was all in because of the company that I kept. William Dandy Middle School, it was a challenge for me because I was trying to discover who I was. I was trying to find me, trying to find out what was the purpose that God had put me on this earth for. I had went through so many detrimental things in my childhood life, so I was still carrying around a lot of baggage and a lot of hurt and a lot of pain that I encountered in my childhood life. So this is where I pretty much lashed out a lot of my hurt and a lot of my pain, but I'm just so glad that God he allowed me to go through what I went through here at William Dandy. It was almost a time where they almost kicked me out of school, but there was a assistant principal here, Mr. Black, who saw a lot in me. Mr. James Black, he saw a lot in me, and he took me under his wings, and he told me, he professed in me, he said, "You shall live and not die." And from that day forward, I straightened up my act and I got on the right path. William Dandy Middle School. This is where my young adulthood began, my puberty began. I played basketball here for 2 years. I ran track and I cheered for my last year, which was my 8th grade year. I enjoyed all 3 of the different sports that I was involved in. William Dandy Middle. There's history here. Come on, let's take a look on the inside of William Dandy and see if it's still what it used to be when I was here. These are the hallways that I paced in, I skipped in, I smoked the little weed in. As I mentioned to you earlier, my middle school years. This is where I come from. This is history, and I never forget where it is that I come from during the critical times of my life, which I was going through a very critical time in my middle school years, William Dandy Middle School.
There is a place in me that no one but you.
Everybody, this is Dilla High School. This is the school that I graduated from 10 years ago, and I had some rough spots in the 4 years that I was here at Dilla High School. Throughout my years here, there have been a few hearts of staff that I have captured, that have came in my life and became more than just teachers in my life, but they became moms and dads in my life. They did the best they could with me, which it did pay off. Here at the moment, I just want to give you a little insight of a young man that when I was here at Dilla High School, my 9th grade year, my 10th grade year, I was a part of the ROTC program, which changed my life. He came in my life, and he didn't just come in my life as a teacher, but he came in my life as a father. He took me under his wing, and he nurtured me, and he loved and he cared for me, him and his wife, and I became part of their family. There he goes.
Hey, how
are
you doing?
You?
Oh,
how's everything? It's been so long.
Yes, it has, man.
Oh my God, this is Sergeant Pender, the one I was telling you guys about. Oh my God, He really, I mean, my 9th grade year, this was the very class that I sat in. Oh my God, I gave him so many issues, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was off the chain 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th, and 12th grade. Somebody say amen. But I mean, this young man, he when I came in Dilla High, he adopted me. He took me under his wing. Everybody else had issues with me because I was a hot mess, but he gave me an opportunity. He took me under his wing, him and his wife, and I mean, they loved me, they cared for me. He took his time up with me. He would mentor me. He would
keep going in class?
Yes, yes. Even when I didn't want to go to class, I would skip right in here. This was my skipping spot, but it kept me out of trouble.
Yeah,
it kept me out of trouble.
Yes,
yes.
You get it all off your chest.
Yes, yes.
And then be ready for the next day.
Yes, I want to ask you, how do you, I mean, with what God have done in my life, and we have been in contact with each other over the years, well, how do you feel at the moment when it comes to me, someone that you invested your time in?
I'm proud of you, very proud of you. I expected big things from you from the beginning. I knew you had a little chip on your shoulder, but I just wanted to help you get past that. And once you get past that, I knew you would be okay. And that's why I tried to follow you throughout your years, you know. And you always touch my heart. So, you know, I knew behind all that madness was a kind and sweet person.
Okay, now let me ask you, is there anybody else over the last 10 years have come across your path like me?
Not quite like you, but I had some issues with.
So we just gonna admit it. I was his favorite here at Dilla High School.
Yes,
and a lot of y'all know I'm y'all favorite. I just have a way of capturing people's hearts at the right time. But I'm just so happy to see you.
Yes.
And you know, I mean, it's been 10 years. Your hair done got a little gray.
Yeah. You put some of that there. You did a little bit of that.
No, don't blame that on me. You got to blame Jimmy Witherspoon.
Yeah, Jimmy too.
Oh, Lord. Wow. You got to blame Jimmy. Now, let me tell you something.
Was a clown.
Jimmy Witherspoon and me, I mean, we was a pair. What I did, he did. When I get kicked out of class, he get kicked out of class. We was a pair. He was my classmate also, and Jimmy Witherspoon, he's doing some miraculous things at his life at the moment as well. It's just good to where, you know, we can leave a certain area of our life and become something great and become something positive, not to just our peers, but to the nation.
Yes, this young lady has done well. Make Dilla High School proud, make the community proud, and surely make me proud. Happy to be here.
I can kind of show y'all where I come from. These are the very halls, as I mentioned. I did a little skipping in. I did a little smoking weed in. I'm gonna let y'all know I'm not ashamed what God He have brought me from. This is where it went down at. This is where, now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I ate that school lunch. Y'all remember them oatmeal cookies and them little fruit cups and them little Subway sandwiches. They wasn't sandwiches, they were sandwiches. They had that thick white cheese with that thick turkey with that good old lettuce. But this is where it went down there. This was my favorite part of the day, lunchtime. I would skip, I would get put out the cafeteria. As I mentioned to y'all earlier, Anna Herrington, she was a hot mess. but this is where it went down at. This is where we would come in here and eat our lunch. We would have our many talent shows. Back when I was here, none of this was here. It's looking like a restaurant in here now. It was just 2 lines when I was here. But as I can see, they didn't upgrade a little bit. It didn't change the whole lot. Look here, y'all. It's still a cafeteria worker here that's still here after I graduated. This was my favorite. Come on out here, Miss Tracy. Come on out here. Come on. This was my favorite. This was my favorite cafeteria worker. She used to give me 4 and 5 cookies, whatever I wanted. I went to the back, got whatever I wanted from out the cafeteria. Say hello, Miss Tracy. Hi. This is where I grew up at, Ebenezer Missionary Baptist Church. This is Ebenezer, the Greater Ebenezer Missionary Baptist Church, again under the leadership of Reverend Josephus Johnson. This is where I grew up at. This is where I learned everything I know when it comes to being a child of God. Man, this is where it went down at Christmas plays, Easter plays, praise dancing. This is the room that we literally had Sunday school in. This is where it went down at, Sunday school, under the leadership of Minister Deborah Burton and Reverend Wayne Allen. I mean, they had us on lockdown. Just a few of the students that was in here with me. You got Minister Janithia Mack, you got Ishmael Dean, you got Janae Littles, you got Shantavia Melvin, who is now, she went she went home with the Lord. She was also a part of our Sunday school class, but our Sunday school class, it wasn't just a straight plain on Sunday school class, but it was a family. We learned how to be a family and how to have each other back. Man, I remember during the years of my life here at Ebenezer, there were so many that touched my lives. I mean, there were so many that really made a difference in my life. I mean, you got ones like my godparents, Larry and Val Stafford. You got Deacon James and Kara Bowers. They was like parents to me. You got Keisha Bacon, who was my big sister. I mean, that's my sister. That was my sister who, she loved me, and I mean, she cared for me, she mentored me. She made sure that during my high school years, things got taken care of as far as in my prom. You got others here, Minister Deborah Burton, Reverend Wayne and Jackie Allen. Just so many more that touched my life when I was here at Ebenezer, and I just really want them to know that, you know, no matter what God take me, they will always be loved and appreciated. This is a church that I am now a member of the Faith Center under the leadership of Bishop Henry Fernandez. This is where we praise and we worship God, and where we just allow Him to be Him totally in us, through us. It's times that I come here full, and it's not a Sunday that I don't come in here and I don't be released from all of the bondage and all of the things that I'm carrying on me. It was just a question that I want to ask. Have there ever been a time in your life where you just been broken up? You just felt like that there was no more life in you? Have there just ever been a time in your life? And I'm going to answer my own question. Yes, there was a time in my life where I was just broken up. I was devastated. I didn't know which way to go. About a year ago, I experienced some detrimental, bad hurt, church hurt. I was broken up. I turned away from the church because of what I had encountered in the church. But somehow God, He saw fit that I would find my way here to the Faith Center. And that's why I find hope in life again. Sunday after Sunday, I sat here in these pews, making sure myself not getting involved in anything until my spirit was rebuilt back up all over again. I was in a place in my life where I didn't want to live anymore. I was in a place in my life where I didn't want to be saved no more. I didn't want to preach no more. I didn't want to do anything that was concerning church. That's where my life was. But I am just so glad that God, He did not take His hands off of me when I was going through that trial period time of my life. I must say, and I must admit, that the Faith Center, it was a life-changing change for me. It was a life-changing change for me. Sunday after Sunday, as I came in here, did not knowing pretty much anybody. There's a few people that I know, but not knowing anybody, to knowing a whole lot that showed me love, that showed me kind, that took their time out. There's a few people I just want to thank God for, who God has placed in my life since I been here at the Faith Center. Pastor James Boyd, Minister Darlene Horde, Pastor Williams, and there's just so many other ones that had made sure that they got their hands on me and make sure that I got to a place in my life where I reached my destination in God, and that's it. And that's my today. That's my today. And I just want to tell them thank you, and I will always love you for the time that you have invested in me, the love that you have showed me, the love that you have. You let it go beyond than what it really measured out to be. I just want to tell you thank you. I love you. To my pastor, Bishop Henry and Carol Fernandez, I love everything that you guys do for me here at the Faith Center, through your preaching, your teaching. Bishop Fernandez, I say thank you, because it did just what it needed to do to my spirit, and that was to quench it for me to get right back in my rightful place in God. The question I know that everybody wants to know about author Annie Herrington. When did you discover to become an author? Growing up, I've always been into writing. I started from writing short poems, to writing short stories, to writing long stories. That's where I discovered that there was a gift of writing in me. Growing up as a little girl, I've always wanted to be a writer. I've always discovered in being a writer, and today I am a writer. I am a successful writer, and I seek God to make me better in who I am today when it's concerning an author. The question was asked to me about a month ago. Did I ever feel like I was going to be who I am today? I never, ever, ever, ever discovered that I would become who I am today. Never. Because of the damage that was done to me. I released my first book, Damaged But Not Broken, on last year, November, December. And that book, it was a book that I wrote it out of pain, and I wrote it out of hurt because of some things that I discovered, not just in my life now, but growing up in my childhood life. The title, Damaged But Not Broken, that is the book. That is the entire book. Damaged but not broken. I was damaged at an early age. I was damaged at an early age, just with some things that I went through growing up in a foster home. I was damaged mentally. I was told that I'd never be nothing. I was told that I was ugly. I would never become nobody. I was told that it don't matter how successful you think you may be, you will never be. I was told that life is gonna sweep you under. I was told that I would have babies after babies after babies. I was told that I would never become nobody. That's what I was told. But I'm glad that God, He discovered me at a young age, and He put something in me that would take me for the rest of my life, which is hope. The book Damaged But Not Broken, it was birthed out of a situation that occurred in my life about 2 years ago. It was a situation that it definitely damaged me, but it didn't break me. It was a situation that I went through in the church. in ministry. Just to go back a little bit about myself, I got ordained as a minister back in 2004 under a local leadership here. And when I graduated from high school, I ended up joining a church down in Homestead. And that's where I actually got saved at back in 2001. That's where I got saved, and that's where I not only got saved, but I got filled with the Holy Ghost. And also that's why I discovered that there was a calling of preaching the Word of God on my life. I became part of this church, and I loved it there. I loved it. And I know that there's just so many of you all that are watching this documentary. Your church, it can become the most important thing in your life. Sometimes when you are a part of a church family, you can discover, you can find yourself more involved with your church family than you are with your real family. And that's what happened to me. The church that I was involved with, it had become my family. I was under a great leadership. My pastor, she was an awesome pastor. She did everything in her willpower to make sure that I would meet the goal that I was looking for in God. And I did that. But also there was an interruption that intervened in the midst of that. There was a young lady there. She had became a part of my life as my mentor in ministry, and accumulated from a mentor in ministry to a mother figure. It accumulated from a mother figure into something that wasn't in God's sight. I had discovered later on, I began to discover that there was motives that this young lady she had. I'm not really going to call her a young lady because she was old enough to be my mom. She came in my life as a mother figure, as a mentor, but she had the wrong intentions. Intentions that she had, which I began to discover that there is a lot of women and men, they find themselves in that type of situation, but they don't know how to get out. They don't know how to crawl out. They don't know how to come out, because they find themselves stuck. And that's what I found myself in. I found myself in something that I didn't know how to come out of. I found myself in something that if I would have ever opened up my mouth about the situation that had went on there, I was going to lose the most important thing to me, which was my mentor. And at the time when I opened up to my pastor about it, I was in a very devastated mode of my life. For many years, I walked around not saying anything because of the bondage that this young lady she had on my life. What had accumulated between me and her was there was a relationship. She did everything she could to get me where she got me, and she did just that. But I'm so glad that God, in the midst of all of that, God, He didn't take His hands off of me. He allowed me to go through the devastation. He allowed me to go through the process that I went through with this young lady. On today, I can really stand flat-footed and not be angry anymore, and not be in a place where I am unforgiving when it comes to her, because of what she's done, of what the hurt and the pain that she's caused in my life. In my book, Damaged But Not Broken, if you haven't purchased a copy, I would love for you to purchase a copy. It's a life-changing story. It's a life-changing story. It's not just about what I went through at that particular time of my life in ministry, but it's about what I went through throughout my life, throughout of my pain, throughout of my hurt. I found myself writing that book. It was therapy for me. When I was going through that situation with the young lady at the church, I had became something that I never thought in my life that I could become, and that was an angry person. The church that I was attending, it was a family church. So of course, there was no major consequences that was done with this individual. So I had to find a way to get to a place in my life where I can help me. And the first thing I had to do was I had to get out of there. 6 months had not even gone by, and this individual, she was right back in the pulpit, full active in ministry. But I knew that God, He had to remove me out of that environment in order to make sure that I am healed totally. This is just the beginning of my journey as a newcomer and an awesome upcoming author, Annie Herrington.